The Asian opening tonight decides everything. I'm not exaggerating when I say the next few hours may determine whether what we just witnessed was the final flush or only the beginning of something much bigger. While most people are asleep, markets in Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo will open first, and what happens there will quietly set the direction for everything that follows. Silver, gold, crypto, equities, risk assets, all of it is standing on a knife's edge right now. This is one of those rare moments where you don't need weeks or months for confirmation. If you value calm, data-driven analysis without hype, without panic, and without anyone selling you dreams or fear, make sure you like this video and subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it tells the algorithm to push this content to people who actually want clarity instead of noise. This is Past and Profit, and our focus here is understanding what's really happening. Now let's slow this down and connect the dots. We just came out of one of the most violent moves silver has ever seen. A historic crash, followed by an equally shocking rebound. But under the surface, something very specific was happening. This wasn't normal selling based on fundamentals. This was leverage being ripped out of the system. And right after that, the CME stepped in and raised margin requirements again. Not once, but twice in just a few days. When margins rise like this after extreme volatility, it doesn't calm markets, and it concentrates risk into fewer, stronger players. At the same time, something very strange is happening in the physical market. Dealers are reporting extreme difficulty sourcing physical silver. In China, physical prices are nowhere near what paper markets are showing. That tells us something important. The paper market and the physical market are no longer speaking the same language. This is where the Asian opening becomes critical. Asian markets don't just react to US price action. They represent physical demand, manufacturing demand, and long-term accumulation. If Shanghai opens strong or even stable, while Western paper markets are closed, that's a signal that physical buyers are not panicking. They're absorbing supply. But if Asian markets open weak, gap down, and follow the paper sell-off aggressively, that tells us liquidation pressure is global, not just localized. That tells us the system hasn't finished flushing yet. This is why tonight matters more than tomorrow morning headlines. By the time US markets open, the real decision may already be made. Now let's layer in another piece that most people are ignoring. Bitcoin. Crypto has become a real-time liquidity thermometer. When risk appetite is healthy, Bitcoin stabilizes or leads higher. When liquidity is being drained, Bitcoin cracks first. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at a critical level. It's not collapsing, but it's not strong either. It's hesitating. If Bitcoin holds through the Asian session, that tells us forced selling may be exhausting itself. If it breaks lower during Asia, that suggests margin stress is still spreading. And when crypto feels pressure, it doesn't stay isolated. It bleeds into equities, metals, and broader risk sentiment. So what we're watching tonight isn't just silver. It's the entire risk complex speaking through Asian price action. There's also a macro layer here that adds fuel to both sides of the argument. On one hand, you have tighter financial conditions driven by margin hikes, volatility, and risk reduction. On the other hand, you have longer-term forces that still support hard assets. Central banks have been cutting rates. Liquidity conditions, despite recent stress, are far looser than they were a year ago. Physical demand for metals globally hasn't disappeared. It's just being temporarily overwhelmed by paper mechanics. This is why the market feels so tense. Two powerful forces are colliding at the same time. Let's talk scenarios, because clarity comes from understanding both sides, not just the one you want to believe. In the bearish scenario, Asian markets open weak. Shanghai silver follows the paper market lower. Bitcoin loses support. That triggers another wave of forced selling when Europe opens. And by the time the US wakes up, sentiment is already damaged. Margin hikes do their job. Positions are closed not because investors want out, but because they're forced out. Prices dip further, even though nothing fundamentally changed. This scenario doesn't mean the bull case is dead. It just means pain comes first, recovery later. Now the bullish scenario. Asian markets open firm. Shanghai silver holds its premium. Physical demand shows no signs of panic. Bitcoin stabilizes or bounces. That sends a message that Friday's crash was the flush. The leverage is already gone. The weak hands are out. What's left is stronger positioning and real demand. When US markets open under those conditions, sellers struggle to push prices lower. That's how violent reversals begin. And here's the key point most people miss. Markets don't bottom when the news turns positive. They bottom when selling pressure runs out. Often when the news still looks terrible. Right now, sentiment is shaken. Confidence is fragile. That's exactly the environment where turning points form. This is why we don't chase candles. We watch behavior. We watch how markets respond to stress. If after everything that just happened, physical markets refuse to break, that tells you a lot about what lies ahead. And this brings us back to discipline. This channel isn't about telling you what to buy or sell. It's about helping you think clearly when emotions are loud. On Past and Profit, we care about time frames. If you're trading short-term, volatility can destroy you if you don't manage risk. If you're investing long-term, these moments are uncomfortable but necessary. The biggest mistakes happen when people mix those two mindsets. Before we wrap this up, let me say this clearly. No one knows with certainty what happens next. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling confidence, not truth. What we can do is observe, prepare, and stay flexible. Tonight, the Asian opening gives us information, not predictions, information. And information is power if you know how to use it. If you've made it this far, I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment and tell me what you're watching during the Asian session. Are you focused on silver, Bitcoin, equities, or something else entirely? Share this video with someone who's trying to make sense of this market, because calm analysis spreads faster than panic when people choose it. No matter what happens next, stay grounded. Don't over-leverage. Don't react emotionally. Markets are designed to test patience before they reward it. The Asian opening tonight decides everything. We'll know soon enough which side blinked first.